Welcome back. It's the Jeremy Mills Podcast, and it's the official YouTube channel. If you're new, and you have to be because I'm new, click below to subscribe. Check out the official website, jeremymillspodcast.com, and subscribe to the podcast channel. It's the main thing. That's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. Welcome back. It's the Jeremy Mills Podcast, and today we welcome another great Pacific Northwest basketball player, this time by way of Federal Way, Washington, Martin Anderson. Welcome.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, it's we were talking when you came here. It's the Pacific Northwest, maybe just Seattle community that's just so nice, and it makes it so easy to branch out and meet new people and stuff like that. And you've been here since you were young, and it's always been like that, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a great community to be a part of. And like you hear about other cities, and it's just not like that. It's what makes Seattle, and not even just Seattle, but the entire state, so special. You know, Federal Way, Tacoma, Seattle, Spokane, the whole state. Mm-hmm. It's like we all want to see each other be successful. We want to see each other make it. You know, there's no hate, there's no jealousy. It's kind of like there's room for everybody to make it. So it's cool, even on social media, see everybody show love, and you know, it's a big family. You know, it's a good community to be a part of.
Right, exactly. I feel lucky to be a part of it. I say it all the time. But thinking about Federal Way versus Tacoma versus Seattle, you know, and we know all the guys that talk to Tacoma people, Seattle people. Federal Way, though, other than you, who else are you happy to have come out?
Oh, man, there's a lot of guys, man. Deontay Daniels, Malik Montoya, Farron Flavors, Jalen McDaniels, Jaden McDaniels. There's a lot of guys. Trey Birch Manning, Bogdan. You know, the older guys, Dickerson from Federal Way. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of guys, man. It's, you know, Federal Way kind of more slept on in Tacoma and Seattle, but, you know, we're there. Yeah. We're there.
Yeah, Vance Dawson, the announcer at the crossover, always keeps me informed on Federal Way basketball.
Yeah, he'll let you know.
Yeah, big time. He reps it. Jaden and Jalen, though, what can you say about those guys? They sound like big-time hoopers.
Special. I don't know them well personally, but just seeing them from afar, man, just special. Special. That's the only word I can really think of. I mean, 6'10", 6'11", athletic, can do anything. Mm-hmm. You know, there's nothing you can really you can't really teach it. You know, it's just, they just have it.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about obviously coming out of Decatur High School and Federal Way.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like you were not honestly the most highly recruited person coming out of high school. So where did that belief that you could make it come from at a young age?
I mean, I always saw what other people didn't see. You know, I think you have to see it even when other people don't. And I just knew what I wanted, and I had a huge passion for the game that kind of overrode everybody that wrote me off. I had some things that happened in high school, you know, it was bad choices, injuries, things like that. But I didn't use it as an excuse. And even when I wasn't, quote unquote, good, I was still in the gym working like I was. Mm-hmm. You know, in my mind, I still I picture the moments that I have now. It's like I picture these when I was little, you know, in the gym, 5 a.m. Like the whole time I was in high school, you know, right when I started driving, the sophomore, I would go 5 a.m, work out till 7, pick up my little sister, go to school. After school, I'm working out. I wasn't even playing that game probably, but I was working out like I was, you know, so I always wanted to be at that level when, you know, I wanted to show that I could play with those guys regardless, you know. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that belief came like really young from, you know, your parents? Like sometimes I think about my mom always encouraging me when I was young. Yeah. Like maybe that's where I get my confidence.
I mean, I definitely had that when I was younger. My family was a very good support system, but I think you just believe in yourself. You know, I had that from the jump, and I saw it even when other people didn't. Mm-hmm. You know, but my mom has always been a great support. My dad has always been a great support. He's been I can't even thank him enough, my mom enough for being there growing up. It really got me through a lot, and it helped me a lot. You know, my dad came to every game, every AAU game, every high school game, and showed so much support, and it meant a lot to me. You know, he still does it now. You know, you'll still see him at the, you know, pro-am games in the summer when he can, and, you know, they're trying to come overseas and see some games. So that support, it helps a lot.
Right, because you're going to encounter doubt too.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard a story you told about, you know, just doubt you encounter specifically in high school. Was it from a teacher?
It was my coach. It was a coach. Yeah.
Okay. And what was that? What happened with that?
So I was actually sitting in, shout out to Miss Storvik, one of my favorite teachers. I was sitting in her class and the phone rang. She's like, your coach want to talk to you. I'm like, it's either good or bad. And I don't know what this is. So he comes out in the hallway and he's like, man, I heard about what you want to do. You know, when you leave high school, I want to play college basketball and I want to play pro basketball. You know, that was realistic for me in my eyes. So, you know, he's like, man, I don't really think that's for you.
I can help you do this. I can help you go to community college. I can help you get a job. I can help you. But he didn't do anything wrong. He just was being honest, and he thought he was doing me a favor. But you got to know yourself more than other people do. I know myself better than anybody knows me. So it was like I took the advice and I listened to it. But at the same time, it's like, no, you're not going to tell me how I'm going to live my life. Like, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to prove you wrong. And when I signed and I ended up playing, he was the first person to reach out through email. And it feels good to prove people wrong, and that's what fuels me to this day. I still have doubters. You're playing pro sports, you're in the eye, you're always going to have doubters. And it motivates me to this day.
Right. And it's like, it's so easy to say that belief and to be able to bounce back from things like that.
Yeah.
And stand up, it's so easy to say, but in those moments, especially when you're young and it's your coach and it's somebody you look up to be able to do that, it shows, something that I don't know what that is just inside a person that still drives you. And to see you put it to work, like you talked about today, you've done 3 workouts today. It's 7 o'clock at night, 7:50 at night. And it's
still going.
It
goes into work. So
yeah, for sure. Cause a lot of kids hear that, especially young people, like you said, and they'll quit, they'll give up, cause they look at authority, your coach, teacher, parent, they tell them, that you can't do it. And a lot of kids just drop it. They're right. Because they're older, but I just thought differently. It's like, I respect them. I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody's entitled to it, but you're not going to tell me I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to grind for my life. I only have one. I get one life. So I'm going to live it and do what I love to do. Like we were talking about earlier, it's like, not a lot of people get to wake up and do what they love. So I'm one of the few that's blessed to do that. Right. So that's always what I always wanted. I wasn't, for other people, that might be their life, but I wasn't going to settle for anything other than what I have now,
Was that motivation the reason that you were, comfortable being told no, or,
I love no. Yeah, I love no. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. It excites me. I'm not going to say I always was like that. I think I kind of got like that over time. When I was younger, I definitely didn't think like that. But, now it's kind of like, I've been through so much and learned so much just over time and through experience. They say experience is your best teacher. I've heard it before, but I had to go through certain things to think like the way I do now. And it's made me the person I am.
And you do a lot of speaking events. Is that what you touch on? Is telling kids, because they're going to face that. They don't necessarily know that, but
yeah, I always tell them, whether it's basketball, whatever career you go into, you're going to face some kind of adversity. It's going to be tough no matter what you go into. There's so many people trying to do so many different things, and what's going to make you different? What's going to separate you from everybody else that wants the same thing? And it's not just about basketball, it's anything. You want to be a nurse, doctor, lawyer, anything, any career. It's going to be tough and it's going to be difficult, and there's going to be people along your path that try to tell you can't. And you just have to have that belief in yourself, and through the work that you put in. I think it's through the work that you put in that you get that confidence and that ability to get through that hate,
and those doubts too, because I'm sure you had self-doubts, like
definitely.
Yeah,
we're human. We're not perfect. There's moments where you want to quit, but you got to remember why you started. Like I didn't start with the intention to quit. I started knowing I was going to finish. So it's just remembering that and remember why I started.
Taking it back to high school though.
Yeah.
So you came back to Federal Way after going to college, went to West Virginia. Is that right?
Yeah. Wiley Jesuit in West Virginia.
And it said, just not the right fit.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Wheeling, West Virginia is a very small city, and in West Virginia, there was nothing around it. It was just the campus, and they wanted me to redshirt. So they wanted me to do. They wanted me to be an academic redshirt. So it's like, I'm going to be all the way across the country. I'm not going to be able to play. I'm in this little area. Just something about it just didn't feel right for me. And, I know I would say don't quit, but when the situation didn't feel right, I knew I was supposed to be for something more, supposed to do something better. So I wasn't supposed to be there. Something just didn't feel right.
Right.
So I ended up coming back home, and I didn't have anything at the time. I didn't have nothing. I didn't know what I was going to do. And so I reached out to one of my good friends. At the time, he's one of my good friends now. At the time, I barely knew him. I reached out to him, Evan Madison. He played in the pro-am. I used to watch him when I was a kid. And I reached out to him just to work out. I just wanted to work out with somebody. So I just reached out, and we went to a YMCA. We went to a YMCA, got a workout in, and he told me about overseas. He told me about how his season went in Japan and how everything went. And that's basically how everything got introduced to me. So from then on, I just made connections, met some good people, and was able to network my way in and just make something out of nothing, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So you, like me and a lot of people out there, didn't see basketball past, college and the NBA.
Yeah.
And didn't realize there's a whole nother, just many leagues out there, and one being Japan. What about what, the way he described it was appealing to you? Was it just the fact of playing basketball? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to play. That's all I wanted to do at the time. I had so much love for the game and so much passion. I just wanted to play. So when this is news to me, I'm like, you can go to another country. I can travel. I can see places that I never thought I was going to see, and they're going to pay for it. And it's people save their whole life to go places I've been to. I played in Rome. I've played in Germany. Played in Spain. I've been to Barcelona. Like people save their whole life to go on vacation here. Mm-hmm. I'm here getting paid to play basketball. Like my life isn't that difficult. If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, I'm living a dream. And every day I woke up so blessed, even if I was having a bad day or if it was lonely because I'm so far away from family or situations weren't always going right. There's ups and downs everywhere you go. At the end of the day, I still remember that I'm very blessed to be in this position to play basketball as my job. Like, I woke up and literally all I had to do was play basketball. I had to go to practice and I had the rest of the time to just do whatever. And it's crazy.
That is crazy.
You think your life is so difficult and you have all these problems, but I'm living my dream. My life really isn't that difficult.
Right.
There's people going through some real stuff, and I take a lot for granted.
It's easy to.
Yeah, it is.
It's easy, really easy to, and it's it's just funny to me. I think about it's almost like you have to find a new hobby at that point. Like that's your job. Like that's
yeah. You have free time, so a lot of times I'll do some studying or do some sightseeing and see places and just try to get to know people, even if I didn't know the language. But just trying to see the area because. It's some places I've been to, man, I never thought I would see. Never thought I would go to. Mm-hmm. Like I remember some places I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm here. And I've been there 6 months. And I still wake up like, man, it's crazy I'm here. It's crazy that I'm
being
here.
Young, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Super young. So, when I first went there, I was 19. I was 19 years old. So, another country at 19, like, you got to grow up real quick. You got to mature real quick. It's just you. Mm-hmm. There's nobody here to really save you. If you're lost, you can't ask anybody. Nobody speaks English. So, it was tough, but I'm so thankful for everything I went through, ups and downs, because it made me the person I am now. Mm-hmm. And I'm able to go back and speak to these kids and even the guys that are older coming out of college now, playing overseas. I'm able to give them advice and how my first year went and what I went through and how they can not make the same mistakes that I made and didn't go through some of the things that I went through, coming up. Because there's a lot of difficult things playing overseas, but it's a blessing.
If there was one thing or a few things you could touch on that you needed to learn, what were those things being a young kid?
Adapting to a new culture.
Yeah.
The style of play in Europe is different. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Some of the rule changes were different. Some of the rule changes were actually funny to me. I got called for travel 6 times my first game. 6 times. And all I was doing was fast break, catching it, and taking a step and going. But at that time in Europe, they changed the rule now. They changed the rule back. But at the time, you couldn't take a step first before dribbling the ball. You had to put the ball down. So it got to the point where on fast break, I'll just let it hit my chest and just drop and then go finish. But I got called for travel 6 times in my first game, and I didn't understand it at the time. I was like, what? Coach, like, I've done this my whole life.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand it at the time. But just little things, man, just, going through the experience and just learning.
When you first realized you were going to go overseas, what was that process like, getting it set up from having that conversation to, getting on the plane and going? Yeah,
so one of my biggest strengths is just networking. I'm really, really good at reaching out and networking. I've always been that way. Even trying to get recruited in high school, like a lot of it was because of me and my networking. It's just something that I've always been able to do and been confident in. So I reached out to people in Barcelona who were actually placing guys. There were other Americans over there trying to look for teams, and I got out there. And you go work out for teams, you go see what's a good fit, and I ended up staying. A lot of people didn't think I was going to end up staying because I was one of the youngest guys there. There were some of the older guys that kind of looked at me like, who is this kid, man? He should go back to college, go back to school. And over time, they started to show me love, started to show me support. And it was just cool to see, again, another time, proving people wrong. I've had to do it my whole life. I've never had it just here.
Right.
Here you go. Everything said it's always been something. And I've always had to overcome something. And it was a great experience, though. Great experience. Those are guys that I still talk to now. That's like things always happen for a reason for me. Like if I would have stayed at that school, like those are lifetime brothers I have. I would have never met them. I always think things line up for a reason. Things work out for a reason. And things don't work out for a reason. A lot of people, when things don't work out, they try to force it. Like, no, this is where it has to be. But it's like you gotta just trust. Have trust and trust the process and trust your journey that it's working out the way it is for a reason.
Right. It's easy to say, like I say, but to actually do it and act on it and find success on it, it's good that you're talking to the kids and giving back. And I've heard you say it's because you didn't necessarily have that when you were growing up, like in federal way, like in your face doing that. So.
We didn't have it. There wasn't anybody. There wasn't anybody that had made it out that could come back, especially my high school. I love Decatur. It made me the person I am. But people don't make it out. People just don't make it out of their area, that school. People look down on Decatur. They see Federal Way High School. They don't see Decatur. So it's like I always had that drive that I want to bring a different light to the school. So when I come back now, it's cool to see how much love you get where you're from. That support and teachers showing love, students showing love, and my old coaches. And it's cool because I was a kid that was written off. I wasn't even supposed to graduate high school. I was going into my senior year, and I tell all the kids this when I go speak now. Going into my senior year, I was 12 credits behind. I wasn't even supposed to graduate. Wasn't even supposed to graduate high school. So I remember my first day of senior year, I was feeling really good about myself. A lot of students were coming up to me because I had a great summer playing basketball at AAU. I was getting looks from different colleges and stuff. So people were like, man, congratulations, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And the counselor comes and finds me and my family. She brings us back to the office. She's like, all those colleges, all this stuff you want to do, you can cut that out because you're going to be here next year. You're not even going to graduate. You're 12 credits behind. I didn't even know how. I knew I was behind. You know you're not doing right. I didn't know it was that bad. So this was the first time actually that somebody told me that I wasn't going to do something, and I had to prove them wrong. And I actually graduated on time. And the program that I was in to graduate, the class I was in, actually helped other kids graduate as well. So she told me you're not going to graduate. I also helped other kids graduate, helped them make up their credits. I was in that classroom for hours, just trying to, like, how am I going to do anything not graduate high school? Right. Like, I got to make it out of here. And every time I go speak to kids now, I'm always honest about this situation because I cannot say it. It's embarrassing to say that. You're 12 credits behind, but I'm open and honest. It's something that I dealt with. Hopefully nobody ends up in that situation, young kids, but it was something I had to deal with, and I put myself in that spot because of bad decisions. So that's one regret I have, making bad decisions when I was younger. Being around the wrong people, not being around supportive people like I am now. The people I'm around now are for me. They check me when I'm doing wrong. They'll text me, man, you got to get it back. You got to get it together, man. Like this ain't what you said. You said you was going to do this. What are you doing? So you got to make sure you have good people around you that's on the right track. They also have a vision. It may not be the same craft. It might be something totally different, but motivated people that want to get somewhere as well.
Right. Was there something that kind of when you were back overseas, you were most pleasantly surprised about? Maybe it was the culture, the food, the people.
I knew it was going to be different, but the level of how different it was crazy. And I was over there at the time that Donald Trump would become president. So people were saying all kinds of stuff to me, man. Certain countries love Americans and there were other ones that just didn't, but it is what it is. But just the culture difference, the money was different. The food was definitely different. I remember I first signed in Spain and we went to this restaurant and they said they're going to bring appetizers out. So I'm thinking, we're going to have some nachos or something, some typical appetizer. Bro, snails.
Oh, God.
With the shell on it. I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even try it. I couldn't even do it.
What is the most exotic thing that you ate? I don't know if exotic's the right word, but
most interesting thing I ate was probably that. That was probably it.
You went for it.
Yeah, I tried it. If people say something's good, I'm gonna try it. I was trying to respect the culture, be a good person, but and never again. They tried again. I'm like, nah.
Chewy?
Yeah. It wasn't.
Thanks.
Wasn't good. But there was good food. A lot of, like, Italy, man. I played in Italy. Food was so good. So good. And one of our sponsors was a pasta place. So we got free pizza and pasta.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, there was one of the practices. I think it was one of the first practices. I go in the locker room and it's sitting there. Boxes of pizza, boxes of pasta. As much as you want. I gained weight while I was in Italy. God. Probably gained 15, 20 pounds.
It's impressive, as much as you're running basketball too.
Yeah, they eat it all day. They eat that stuff all day. But it was so good. They definitely had the best food in Italy. Definitely.
What about Mexico? That would have been tough too.
Oh, yeah.
That's hard to play after that kind of food.
Yeah. A lot of tacos. This typical Mexican food. It was good. It was a great experience playing there. I loved it. I love Mexico. It showed so much love. Fans were great. The areas were great. Some areas we went to were different. We had some rough experiences, but the good outweighed the bad, and they showed so much love, and it made me a humble person. Just seeing stuff that I saw, seeing the way some people lived, and some people's houses are outside. Some people don't have anything, and I walk by like, man, I'm so grateful for what I have. I take a lot for granted. I realize I took a lot for granted. Right. Kids coming up to me asking for a little bit of money, and I can give them all the money they want. It's not going to change the situation. They're still going to be here. It made me a humble person seeing the stuff that I saw.
Right.
Yeah.
And then because you're a basketball player, you got a lot of love, and it got you out of probably some sticky situations too.
Yeah, definitely. So there were times we went through some rough areas in Mexico, some cartel areas. So there's police outside. They're checking every car that comes by. So if you get out the van or get out the car, it's not good. You don't want to get out. So they asked us to come out, and I'm thinking it's bad. I'm like, what's about to happen, man? Because you hear stories, you never know. And can we get a picture? Like, come on, man.
Never so happy in your life.
Yeah,
Take a picture.
I thought we wasn't gonna make it out of this one. I'm just trying to get to the game,
Dang.
But yeah.
So you talked about all these different places that you've played.
Yeah.
Rank these places best quality of basketball overall.
Spain was definitely the best quality of basketball, just in terms of talent. Spain is just, they're always competing with us in the Olympics. Spain is always known for high level basketball. You got the Gasol brothers, obviously.
They're nice.
Just Spain overall, just so much talent, and I knew it, but when I really saw it, it's not just the highest level; it's all levels. The talent is crazy. It's the talent all over the world is crazy. I didn't even know it. Basketball is such a global game now. It's all over the place. Basketball is everywhere. And so kids here don't really understand. They just see this area. They don't see everywhere else. They don't see every other country that there's kids same size as you, same abilities as you, same goal as you.
Right.
What's going to make you different? What's going to separate you from everybody else? And it's not just the kids in this area. There's kids working right now in other countries that want to come here. You think they want to come here, play in college, play in the NBA, whatever? They're working from that same spot, and that's what motivates me now is thinking about that, because there's people all over the place that want the same thing I want. So what's going to make me different? What's going to separate me? That's what I want kids to think about coming up. That's what whenever I go talk to kids, I always talk about that. What's going to make you different? You got to separate yourself from your competition. You think it's just one workout. It's just an hour workout, just extra. But look over a year, how much separation you can get from your competition, how many extra hours you can put in. And I didn't always think like this, but I had to see it, and I never had somebody tell me. So now, coming out and being able to tell it, I hope they're able to pick it up and learn, because it's so much talent.
It's true.
So much talent.
But it's nice to have someone to be able to tell them who's actually had those experiences, because you see success and you see all this stuff, but to show them, that there is no secret. It is just the work and the amount of time you put in, and what you get in, you get out of it too.
Definitely.
So that was what was amazing to hear, just from the guys, like I'm sure you heard from Zach LaVine and Isaiah Thomas and Jamal and all those guys. That
Definitely.
It's just the work, and it sounds like you put your work in too. You're up early.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's work at the end of the day. There's no excuses. Just putting in the time, putting in the work, separating myself from everybody else that wants to do what I want to do. And it's people like, why you get up early? Because my competition's sleeping. I want to get that separation. I love that. When it's an empty gym, 3, 4 in the morning, I love it. It's an addiction.
3 or 4 in the morning.
3 or 4, I love it. I love it. I just love feeling like I'm putting in work while you're sleeping, because I need to get that separation, because you're already ahead of me. Let's get you, like you said, I've been an underdog my whole life. I've been doubted my whole life. I'm already behind. So how am I going to catch you? How am I going to catch up to you by doing the same amount of work or less than you? Because I know guys are putting in work. I know the best in the game are putting in work. So how am I going to catch them? I got to do more. I always got to do more. That's how I always think. I always got to do something else. I always got to be doing something. I can't ever just be sitting. Because while I'm sitting, somebody else is working. Somebody else is putting that time in. Someone else is networking. Somebody else is lifting. Somebody else is shooting. I got to do it all. All day. All day I have to. And that's, some people can get away with it. Some people can just work out one time, a couple times a week, and just chill and just have it. I never had any Here's everything. I never had that. So I always had to prove people wrong. I always had to get over some kind of hump. So that's what drives me.
But that's even, people talk about bigger than basketball. That whole mindset is bigger than basketball, because that's going to, find you success in basketball. But, even once you're done playing basketball, when you retire and past that too,
anyone can apply that mindset. I don't care what career you're in, what field you're in. You can apply that mindset. Putting in that extra time. Stay in the office late. Put in those extra hours. I don't care what you're doing. Get that separation. Why would you not want to be the best? Why would you not want to reach for that? I don't ever want to settle. I'm not just cool with just being average. I'm not cool with it. And I'll never be cool with it. I always want to be up there with the best. That's why I surround myself with people that's doing something. I surround myself with people that's the top of their craft, no matter what it is, because I want to be around that type of energy. Because we're on the same mission. It's just a different passion. Right. But I see, for example, Clem Rashad. See him doing something, and it makes me want to reach where he's going. I see someone on Instagram from somebody that I look up to or that I'm cool with, and it's like I want to get to where they're at. It's just motivation. It's just keeping that good energy around you.
Right. All right. So Spain, best quality basketball. What about the best player experience?
The best player experience, like somebody I played against.
More like as a basketball player, what was the best for you? What was the best gyms or the best travel or the best pay?
I would probably say Italy. I had the best experience there because we had some really good teammates there. We had a really good experience. We had a good team too. I just liked the overall level of basketball there. It was a really good experience for me because I always wanted to play in Italy. When I was in Spain, I looked at Italy as an option, and when I was there, I was like, man, it's crazy, I'm here, But it was good. It was a good experience. Nice gyms, good arenas, a lot of fans. Sometimes you play overseas, and sometimes some clubs don't have as much support as others. Mm-hmm. So we were fortunate to have really good support, and it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. It's an amazing place to stay too.
Definitely.
What do you think the best fan experience was from a fan's perspective? Was it maybe Italy to have the nice arenas and?
Honestly, I'll probably say Spain. They support, especially if your club, the team you're playing for has a soccer team or football. They would say they would get mad at me saying soccer. They used to get so mad at me when I would say that.
And the people in Kansas that are listening now, you better say soccer now.
Yeah, but if the team has a soccer team, there's a lot more support. Mm-hmm. But the fans were just crazy. I had some crazy experiences with fans overseas. I didn't know that things like this went on. I heard stories from guys that were playing, and getting batteries thrown at you, bottles, bottle caps, coins. Oh my God. Anything. It's crazy. People had torches in the crowd. There's like, how'd you guys get that in here?
Yeah. There's no one at the door.
There's nobody at the door. There's no security.
Right.
No security at all.
Wow. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Best food. Did we say Italy?
We definitely would say Italy. That was, man, I wanted to take some of the pizza home if I could. I was trying to find some of the dough or something to get shipped back. Like I can't even have pizza here that much anymore because it's
nowhere like it.
No, it's nothing like just authentic Italian pizza. It was so good, so good.
Interesting. What about the place that had the biggest impact on you outside of basketball? What changed you the most? Maybe
I definitely would say Mexico, just because of areas I went to and seeing the life that people were living, and just think I take a lot for granted. I take so much for granted. Any problem that I have, I look at it so differently now because I think about people that I've seen or places that I've been, experiences that I've had, and just like my life really isn't that difficult compared to some of them, And I just wanted to help them. That's all I wanted to do. And just a simple hi, a picture, signing something, whatever, just going to say hello made their day. And it's like, it's just crazy how much of an impact you can have as an athlete in a place like that. And it just felt good, but it definitely changed me, made me a lot more humble, made me appreciate everything back here. And it definitely changed me as a person.
And now most recently you've played for the Canada Windsor Express.
Yes, sir.
And that I was looking up on the map because I'm from Kansas and I'm culturally and regionally challenged. So I didn't realize that was next to Detroit.
I was too, so I was everywhere.
Yeah, I bet. So that's close to Detroit, right?
Yeah.
What is that like compared to places you've played?
It was different because it was English. It was right across from Detroit. You can just go right over to Detroit and it's like I'm still in America. It was really cool, actually. It was another country, but it really didn't feel like it was another country. It felt like I was still at home. And you can allow more Americans on the teams there that you couldn't have. Like in Spain, you can only have 2 imports. Italy can only have 2 imports. Germany, we could have more imports, but certain countries there's a different amount of imports that's allowed. So a lot of our team in Canada was American. So I felt like I was, back at home. And it was a really good experience for me. And I met some really good guys that I'm still cool with now. And it was a really good experience for me.
Basketball-wise, quality of basketball-wise, where would you rank it?
I think it's right there with the G League. It might be a little bit underneath, but the talent level is great. The talent level is great. Like Glenn Big Baby Davis was in the league this year.
Oh my God.
You can see the level raising up as the years go on. It's only been around, I think, 7-8 years, that league there. but you can see that it's really growing, and you know, the level of basketball is going up. You know, Canada's always had good players, good talent, but it's getting a lot better, and it was a privilege to be a part of it for sure.
You talk about the G League. I don't think it was on the podcast, but it's improving. But for a guy like you, overseas is definitely the best option, it sounds like right now.
Definitely. I mean, the money's getting better in the G League, but it's just not where it needs to be yet, where it's kind of livable for me. You know what I mean? It's a great opportunity. But for me, I only want to do it if I know I'm getting called up. You know, if I'm just going to go play in the G League, it's a great experience, but I just don't want to put myself in that position. I like to be comfortable. And overseas is a great break to have. You know, if people look at not making the NBA as a knock, it's a great break to have. I can go overseas and make good money and play basketball. That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.